Although avoiding this chapter spoilers was a pain in the ass, this chapter was primarily set up for the biggest hollow technique purple in the entire series of JJK. Some would say this is the best chapter of the fight. I can't personally agree. It's an epic chapter nonetheless, but I have my own personal favorites in this fight. Recent episode of JJK Season 2 Episode 7, Evening Festival dropped by the time this video is out. So if you like Mechamaru as a character and as a fighter, go ahead and check out my Mechamaru video from a while back. But let's get into what is the supposed conclusion of the strongest battle in JJK. Off rip, we're coming off the fact that Gojo still has the Black Flash, and especially the second one, which really comes in handy at the end of this chapter as it benefits in one of the biggest attacks in the whole series. But I gotta say, it was really crazy seeing that Gojo Satoru, while he's feeling the rise of exhilaration, Sukuna in the mean hand for the first time in 1,000 years is feeling, they say it's the height of tension, but I gotta say, my boy's basically feeling a little nervous, which he has all the reason to, because he already know from the last chapter that Hollow Purple at this stage of the game, it's pretty much wraps for him. He just can't take that. Really, Sukuna is starting to feel that pressure. Just because we've already known from this fight, Gojo is a powerhouse, especially with his technique. He's mastered it to all level and all degree possible with it. While Sukuna is more so of a Swiss Army knife. He's mastered everything from the simple domains, dominification, RCT, Shikigami usage, etc. We've seen him use so many different tools. With Gojo and him using the Limitless, we've seen him use his Limitless in a variety of ways that still deliver huge amounts of damage and impact. And with the Black Flash intensified, we got Gojo fighting Sukuna. He launches a huge punch on Maharaga, sending him across Sukuna while Sukuna comes in for a hit. And I ain't gonna lie, this is kind of disrespectful. He grabs Sukuna by the arm and throws him into Maharaga to land another strike, but this time Maharaga blocks. At this stage of the chapter, Maharaga is already shown to be focused primarily on protection of Sukuna and just defense and being able to adapt. And something really cool about these curse techniques is what's stated as called a spark. That is simply the start of an activation of a curse technique. Curse energy is going to start to swell up within a sorcerer just before the activation. This is the moment where pretty much whoever they're fighting, they're going to get a chance to see what they're possibly going at if they can sense through their curse energy. Like Sukuna does in this chapter when he feels that spark and he instantly thinks that this is a curse technique reversal red. Especially with Gojo using the incantations that he's more than likely heard before. He already knew that this is time for him to try to bring out Maharaga to possibly adapt to it and to put a stop to it. And the reason Sukuna is feeling or looking nervous in this panel, it's not because he's realizing he's using red, but that he's realizing that Gojo is not using red to inadvertently attack him. Instantly you see Maharaga jump through the roof just to try to get to that red and try to stop it, because now they've realized that Gojo is using red because red is going to try to fuse with blue and create hollow technique purple. And I think one of the impressive ways that Gojo uses this technique is actually how he uses blue's indiscriminate target system and how it brings in people through gravity. He sees that Maharaga's coming in to try to stop it, but he speeds up into the blue to use the gravity to erase the space in between him, Maharaga, and blue to get in front of him to launch a right hand strike. Even though we already know Gojo is just intimidating with these three powers, I just have to say that the way that Gege has kind of explored how much Gojo can actually do with his red. For example, this is the first time in the entire series through this fight that we've noticed red detonates really whenever it comes in contact with its target. We've never seen him use it to track or anything like that. And with blue, this is the first time we've seen him keep the orb of blue out even after using it to crush an opponent. And one of the interesting things throughout this little moment was the fact that due to blue not having an indiscriminate way of choosing his targets, it actually kind of interfered with Maharaga's adaptation. This is actually one of the drawbacks to Maharaga's ability. Now this is where Sukuna tries to swoop in with his piercing blood, although I hate that it's called that because it's not the actual thing. Almost wish they called it like piercing steam or something. And he tries to eliminate the blue. The only problem is Gojo through incantations pretty much reinforced the strength of blue, so even something like a piercing blood from a Sukuna with the max elephant water, it ain't enough to take it out. After the chant of the incantations, hollow technique purple is launched, and with the incantations this creates a huge blast in throughout Shinjuku, leaving a scar. It just destroying everything that was in their area within their vicinity. Just gone. This isn't the strongest blast in your series because of course our girl Yuki got that one in the bag easy, but this is definitely one of the strongest attacks in Gojo's arsenal that he's ever done. It's almost like a ticking time bomb hollow purple because this hollow purple was not necessarily directed at Sukuna. He simply let it explode within their whole area. That means Gojo even took some damage himself, even though it wasn't a lot compared to Sukuna. Because looking at Sukuna, good lord, this man lost his hand again. I don't know what's up with Gigan's left arms. Almost lost his feet. He lost the shoes. He looks completely burned and incinerated. Honestly, we have to give it up for Sukuna right here. This man, he didn't tank it, but he took possibly the best outcome from a hollow purple like that from that close range, and is still standing up. He's still standing. He's not crawling or nothing. We can assume that Sukuna used whatever RCT he had left and maybe domain amplification, but that looks like that's all he had left to even possibly block unlimited purple. And the black flash that Gojo got earlier actually helped increase his RCT output, so now his healing is actually a little better than Sukuna's state right now. And pretty much everyone can, from the looks of it, definitively say that Gojo is the winner of the battle between the strongest. The most intense chapters to ever read of JJK. Man, I will say this battle is going to finally finish, not next week because sadly we on break, but the week after, and we'll finally see how this fight is going to conclude. And I'm pretty sure we all know that, yeah, this isn't going to just end with Gojo getting the quote-unquote win, because I'm not going to lie, just me being able to understand manga and anime cliches, whenever someone puts a victory like that up, sometimes it's pretty much to let us know that they're about to lose. And I'm really curious to see, now that Sukuna's in this state, how is Gojo gonna, I guess, extract or free Megumi? I don't know what the plan is on that front, because Yuji was the one that had the plan to free Megumi from Sukuna's body. But with Gojo just out there, I really want to know how is he gonna do that, because clearly he can't just kill him, because that would just kind of defeat the point, because you'd be getting rid of Megumi at the same time. So that will be something to look out for next chapter. And I'm really starting to think, because I mean his back's against the wall at this point, Sukuna is probably going to have to use whatever that treasure is that Yorozu had and do whatever it can do, take out Gojo. I don't think he's going to use the open thing, because I don't think he has enough curse energy for it, but whatever that treasure is probably going to come out now, because there's just no way that I see Sukuna being hindered and looking like this without going out with a trick up his sleeve. Because if it's one thing we've learned throughout this entire fight, is that whatever Gojo threw at Sukuna had a counter to it in some sort. And it wasn't just through outright power, because through this entire fight as well, Sukuna has honestly felt and looked, from an intelligence standpoint of just Jujutsu sorcery and mastery, he's just looked far superior to Gojo. And this unlimited purple really goes to show you how far Gojo will go to take out an opponent like Sukuna through his way of Jujutsu. And I think one of my favorite moments is the fact that before purple is launched, they actually show Yuta saying, "I'm glad that Kusakabe, you didn't tell me to go out there, and I listened to you," because there was no way that he was gonna be able to do that with Yuta out there at the same time. Showing you that also Gojo cannot fight with other people, because he just won't be able to go all out, because it would just impact other people that's around him. And with no Maharaga, we gotta see what else Sukuna could come with. I also found it very almost ironic that two of the biggest fights that include special grade sorcerers, Gojo Sukuna, Kenjaku Yuki, there was a big blast at the end of each fight, and the following chapter, or in that case the actual chapter, there was a counter to that blast, to where the person who took it ended up coming out on the upper hand. So I wonder, this might happen in this fight, and it's gonna actually bite Gojo in the ass. So many things you could talk about between Gojo and Sukuna, and even just the way this whole fight transpired with Sukuna's overwhelming aggression that was described by Uro. You kind of saw that from the moment he took Megumi's body, just how Sukuna approaches sorcery. And then Gojo's fight against Sukuna, you actually can see Gojo's way of thinking throughout this fight as well. You can really go a lot of ways, and there are things that kind of surpass just power within this, but that's for another video. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Also check out my second channel where I got other stuff on there. I just wrapped up my recordings for everything up to Wano, so you know, One Piece, it ain't gonna be a regular on there, but I might talk about it every now and then. But once I finish uploading, when I need to upload on there, you'll start to see more diversity on that channel. I'll let y'all in the next one. Peace.